What's happening, fellas? I see you. I love you. I respect you. Thank you very much for stopping by. You appreciate it. I got a bit of a flu. It's not good. It's really bad. But because I respect you and you know we have a meeting every single day, I'm always going to show up for you. Thank you for stopping by. My name is Zack. Your first time, you very much appreciate it. Please stay with us. We want you here. This is family. You want to know about the motherland? You're at the right place. We talk about everything. Politics, social, society, Africa, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Burundi, Zimbabwe, you name it, we'll talk about it. Sometimes we bash each other really hard here, yeah. Sometimes it sounds rough, but it's never with poison. The goal is to grow together. We are the same people. We have the same problems. As much as you think you're better than the next person, you're truly not. The way they perceive us out there, it's not what you think. So let's come together so we can grow. There's a very interesting story here. I'm going to read it so we can all be accurate. Great stuff. Now, it's two South African men. It's happening in Equatorial Guinea. Two South African engineers have returned home after spending more than 2 years in jail in Equatorial Guinea in what the UN has called an arbitrary illegal drug charges. Now, two South African men, two white men. Sorry, I have to put race into it because in South African context, there must be color. You know, my Indian friend, my Chinese brother, it's usually like that. So you can understand. Nothing to do with anything else. Now, one of the fellas' name is Freek Ocheker. The other one's name is Peter Axum. Yes, there are white people in South Africa, if you don't know. Many came long time ago, hundreds of years ago. They came to conquer. You know, unlike many other white people in other African countries, white people that went to South Africa went to stay. They did not go to steal and go back to Europe. That's why they went and constructed and built and created a life for themselves. They never really thought that white and blacks would ever live together. That wasn't the idea. They were building for themselves. But unfortunately, for some of them that are extremists, a time came where they had to share. Now they're sharing. Let's continue our story. Now, these two people are in the mid-50s. They were arrested in February 2023 after drugs were allegedly found in their luggages.
Welcome them back in South Africa with the clemency, the presidential pardon from the president of Equatorial Guinea, who has found it in his wisdom to apply pardon to these two good South Africans who have stayed in Equatorial Guinea for almost 2 years now, and they were sentenced to 12 years. It's a great relief to the South African government and to the family. We therefore convey our message of gratitude to the government of Equatorial Guinea. We also want to thank the family for cooperating with us.
I mean, that's the worst thing you want to see. Drugs in your luggage, especially if you're not involved, that's bad. Now, this is happening in Guinea, Equatorial, as you can see on the map. That's where it is, very far from South Africa. They were sentenced to 12 years in prison and fined $5 million each, but have been given presidential pardon after a long campaign by their families and the South African government. So their families and the South African government have done a tremendous work to get them back. Now, you know, presidents usually have this superpower, presidential pardon. In normal country, a president can say, okay, I'm pardoning 20 people this year. Doesn't matter what crime you've done. The president chooses to pardon you, you're out of jail. And many people get grace through that. That was the case of these two people. The arrest came days after luxury assets belonging to Equatorial Guinea President Teodoro Obiang was seized in South Africa. So, coincidence. Couple of days after South Africa seized, belonging of the son of the president of this country, all of a sudden that country arrests two South Africans under the, grave of drugs. They say they have drugs in the bag. How do you explain that? What was seized by the South African government? The South African government seized a yacht, two Cape Town villas belonging to Obiang, who is also the son of the president of Guinea. Now, this is the father. His name is Teodoro Obiang. He's the longest reigning president in the world. No, I believe in Africa. 46 years in power. Yeah, he's been there. In the entire country, there's nobody else as good as him to run the country. His vice president is his son, this man. His son is very, very busy on social media. You see him on Instagram. You see him on TikTok. Yeah, he's, luxurious life, big villas, big cars. Yeah, he's one of those guys. Now, the man has got assets in South Africa, houses, villas, and yacht and stuff. Those were seized by the government And after that, the 2 South Africans were arrested. Now, the question you're asking yourself is, why did the South African government or South African court seize his stuff? Very interesting. That happened over a dispute. There was a dispute between the son of a president and a South African businessman. In 2016, Cape Town businessman Daniel Jansen van Rensburg sued Obiang for wrongful arrest, torture in Equatorial Guinea following a failed airline venture. He spent around 500 days in a Black Beach prison before being released. So this man was dealing with the son of the president. They were going through a venture of an airline that's failed, went south, for whichever reason. Well, they arrested him, they beat him up really bad, they tortured him, threw him in jail for 500 days. They released him later on. And when he went back to his country, he also laid the charge. Okay? He laid the charge against the son of a president from another country. And his country took that guy to court. You need to take note. You leave a country where you were mistreated, you go lay charges against the son of a president of a foreign country. Your court charges that guy. He has to pay $3 million for the damage, for the imprisonment, for the battering and everything else. Can your country do that? I'm just asking. That's how you know you live in a shithole country. You cannot do that. Anyway, let's get back on track. Now, the South African court seized Obiang yacht in Cape Town. Look at Cape Town. It's a very beautiful place. As you would know, Cape Town has some of the most expensive things in Africa. Yes, the Cape Town House, under the legal judgment to recover damage owed to Jans van Rensburg for his unlawful detention and torture. So because you tortured this guy and you have not made any payments to him for damage, we are seizing your yacht and your houses, your villas here in Cape Town, so we can sell it perhaps and give to this guy. Now, after they did that, 2 South African men were arrested in Equatorial Guinea under the charge of drugs. Was there drugs? Question mark. We don't know. Was there really drugs? Now, if there was really drugs, why did they release them finally under the pardon of the presidential authority? If there was really drugs. Or was it just a way to pressure the South African government? Or since you've seized my stuff, I'm also putting these white South African people in jail. What were the 2 people doing in Equatorial Guinea? They were working for a Dutch oil and gas company in Equatorial Guinea, where they were arrested the nights before they were due to return home after 5 weeks in the country. If you were in a country and you're leaving the country, are they leaving with drugs from Guinea? Okay, perhaps let's think about it rationally. How do you get drugs from Guinea out of Guinea? There's a possibility. Maybe the drugs come from South America. Look at the map. South America to Guinea, because it's one of the hubs. You know, it's a possibility. We're just saying it's a possibility. Now, does possibility mean it was really, really correct? We don't know that. This is what they say. We are overwhelmed with relief and joy. The last 2 years and 4 months have been imaginably painful for both of our families. Number one, I'm very happy for them. You know, if they were not involved in any sort of drug things. I think it's amazing. South African government has done a tremendous job. It's not just the South African government, which we praise very much. The family had called for assistance of the South African government, as well as the UK government, as Mr. Axman has dual nationality. Beautiful, beautiful work. So the South African government and the UK government have worked together to get him out. Now, the good thing is I think there are many lessons to learn here. Lesson number one is that brother Jansen that wants to lay charges against the son of a president in a foreign country, and his government, his legal system has done something about it. They have followed through. They have asked questions on why you mistreated our citizen. It deserves a round of applause. Because in many African nations, you can go to the next country, they will beat you up bad. There's absolutely nothing your country can do for you. Now, is this done because this man is white and is not black? Question mark. Can we say that? Question mark. Number two, there's something very interesting here. Mr. Axman has got a dual nationality, and he asked for assistance from the South African government to help him get out. The South African government has helped him get out, and there's no mayhem about that. Now, my question is, if Mr. Axman, it was Mr. Mutundo, meaning he was Togolese and South African at the same time, or Nigerian and South African at the same time, would you have taken up this task to get a legal team to get him out? Or would you say, oh, no, he's not one of us. No, you are not one of us. If your mom is South African, your father is Togolese, it means you are Togolese. Or you would have said, oh, no, because you are naturalized, you are not one of us, you must go back to the country where you came from. And you know I'm telling the truth. Because he's white, it's fine, he's South African. Axeman is a British name, but the South African government has done, congratulations, beautiful. But would you do the same if the guy's got dual nationality and he's African? Would you give it the same level of support and say, okay, he's South African Ugandan, he's been arrested somewhere under the accusation of drugs? Would you follow up? I'm just asking. This is to show, let's be honest with each other as Africans. We have many problems. We have intolerance of one another. And nobody deserves to be arrested if they do anything wrong. But I'm asking a question. If this person was South African and Burundian and was arrested in Guinea Equatorial under the pretense of selling drugs or transporting drugs, would anybody be interested? Or they would say, go ask for the Burundian government to follow up. This guy who's been beaten up, they beat him up, he's also dual nationality. Would they have done the same? Question mark. I'm just saying, I think Africans need to start loving each other. And again, not all South Africans are like that. I've experienced South Africa in the highest level. Some of my best friends are South Africans. Some of the most amazing people I've met are South Africans. Some of the best input in my life are South Africans. I have things in South Africa. Some are the most amazing people ever, But you still find pouches of people that still believe this is one of us. That is, you can't get into the hospital because you're not from here. Yes, we understand that. Illegal people cannot go to the hospital and utilize hospital assets that could be useful for the citizen. Absolutely. Well, there are cases of people that have shown their IDs, they are naturalized, they've been refused to get into the hospitals. If you don't know about it, you should search it on TikTok. You're probably going to find it. I think as much as it is absolutely correct to say no illegal immigrant should access things in our country while our people are suffering, it should also be correct to acknowledge that there has been a number of people that are naturalized, that are legally South African, that have been refused entry into the most elementary things. Let's accept one another. Let's support each other. The goal of this is not bashing anybody. The goal is to show each other support. Look at the support other people give one another in situations like this. Look at the intensity they are. Look at the level of attention they are given. So this guy can get his $3 million. How much is $3 million in rent? You're happy that the South African government can stand strong against the foreign government who mistreat these people. I'm very happy for that. Congratulations to them. It shows power. It shows resilience. It shows democracy. Yes, South Africa is one of the only democracies in Africa where you can actually say things about a government official and they won't come to your house and knock the door and say, come, let's go. Yes, South Africa is one of the places where you can actually wear a t-shirt saying, F the minister, and nobody will come and take you to jail. Unlike many places, if you open your mouth against a policeman, you're gone. If a policeman likes your girlfriend, you're gone. Let me know how you feel about this. It was a great pleasure. There's no toxicity here. The goal here is to build each other. How do we tolerate one another? How do we support each other? How do we start saying, okay, because you're half, you're still one of us? How do you do that? Like how? Because it's possible. If you go to places like Uganda, Uganda has 3 million foreigners in Uganda. 3 million, they all live together. There's no crime. There's no someone getting into somebody's house, somebody trying to force him. There's no such thing. There are Ethiopians, there are, Sudanese, they have businesses, they hire each other, they live like human beings. They don't have the lens of, where are you from? You only know when somebody's Sudanese, when he said, oh, I just came back from Juba. Oh, from Juba. Oh, you from Sudan? Yes. That's when you know. You don't look at somebody and say, this one is not one of us. That one, his head is not like one of us. No. You'll never hear white people say that about each other. This one is not one of us. Never, ever they do that. Let me know how you feel about this. It was a great pleasure. God bless.